Hey everybody, welcome to today's daily market commentary. It is Wednesday, the 8th of November. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. We are going to do the same thing we do each and every day. We look at the same 12 futures markets and we leave our lines on the charts. For those of you that are new to the channel, the reason that we do that is because we want you to be able to see how levels change or how they don't change, and really how positions progress over time. It also helps to hold me accountable, which I think is also pretty important. So let's go ahead and get rolling. The S&P today, we had a little bit of movement, so let's pull up our S&P chart. S&P today, we had yesterday talked about how there was a rally off of a low that I'd kind of gotten stopped out of. It's one of those days where you get stopped out of one and then boom, it goes the way you thought it was going to go anyway. Those things sometimes are just going to happen in the financial markets. There's nothing we can do. You're going to be wrong at times, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm not afraid to be wrong. What I am afraid to do is to buy at the wrong time and to buy when things are too high. Now, we have no resistance above us. There's no ceiling to stop us from going higher. So there's no way I'm being a seller. I can't stress that enough. I know lots of people have been trying to just pick this top, and sure, maybe you made some money on this move, but you keep trying to short the top and eventually it'll kill you. What I will take a look at though is I'm moving down here to a 15-minute time period. Right here late in the morning, there was a little bit of this old area of resistance. I'm going to go just a bit below there to right about here at the reversal period in the morning. Now we got a nice little breakout from this base that we had in here, and then boom, price broke away from there. The question is, are there still going to be opportunities for people to get in down in here? So you may want to look at that as an opportunity for tomorrow, a little pullback into here for then price to continue to rally higher. Just one example and one potential opportunity. Let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, I'd identified a level here, which I thought price was going to get to. Did not quite get there yet. It's still a potential, still out there. You do have this area right here. Move this down to, say, a 15-minute chart. Remember, the purple dictates small time frames. And it's really looking at it right through here. This would be an area that's very equivalent to the level that I just talked about in the S&P. So I am gonna highlight this one as a potential. Now this is a fairly small time frame. So since this is a small time frame, I'm going to make it purple, but I'm also going to make it dashed, which means it's a smaller time frame that I want to have price come into the level and then come out before I would get in. Now, if price continues to blow through here before I get a move out, then that would void that trade, right? Follow the rules, trade your plan. But I'm going to put that one in here. The reason I like it is because it did act as a little stopping point back here in the past, and I think we could get a little reversal off of here. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he said that's kind of his setup that he really looks for, and I agree with him, and I think that that's a good opportunity for those that are interested. Next, crude oil futures. So today we saw crude show some weakness and then boom, pop up and then came right back down. When I see something like that occur, I typically consider that they were out there hunting the stops. To me, that's a stop hunt. That is somebody with a lot of money who knows that this market really isn't going to move much today, but let's go and get out all the people that are getting in at the wrong time. And that's exactly what I see here. I really, I think that we could get a breakdown in crude and breakdown to this range here. Still have this line here as a good breakdown point. We were looking at a long coming out of here. I would certainly, if you're in that long, I would certainly have your stop moved up and locked in some profit. Definitely your stop up to about 55.66, because I think if we get below 55.66, we're going to continue to go down to at least 55. So crude is showing a bit more weakness, a bit more slowing down. If I move that to the daily chart, we can see we do have a reversal candlestick today at this kind of high. So it'd be nice to see a little bit of a pullback back into this range. Before then, I think we can trade a bit higher. Gold, solid gold. So gold is looking at this area here and treating it like a potential breakout area. Now this high, the wick popped up into here. I frankly would have immediately put the breakout a little bit lower based on what I had seen prior. My breakout would have been right here. Did not have a line on the chart, though, because I just wasn't convinced in it, and I kind of feel good that I didn't because it's a false breakout, right? Price came up, came down, out. This doesn't have exactly the setup that I look for in high-quality breakouts. I need to see a little bit more proof for a breakout that I'm going to be a big fan of. There was more noise up here that I'm not interested in. So, for breakouts, I need to have clean air around it in order to move. And tomorrow, we're going to do a breakout session. I think I'm going to do it at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live and on Twitter Live. So if you've got questions, bring them in. I've never used those technologies before, so bear with me. But you should be able to watch them on there. And I'm going to go through kind of the things I look for in breakouts. A lot of you guys have been asking me about that. So I do believe, though, that gold, if you're a trend-following trader, this could be an opportunity literally right now to look at gold as a potential move up. Now, what I would need, this is one of those things where I talk about trading candle to candle, right? What I would need is a higher high than the prior candle's high. And oftentimes when you get that candle to candle trading, what you see that each candle has a higher low, and you move your stop up below, below each prior candle's low in order to lock in profits. This is a good reversal point right here, and you could see a reversal in gold off of this level. Let's go to the bond market. So the bonds, yesterday we had talked about how bonds were falling off of this breakout area. And I loved the fact that price hit here, failed, hit here, failed, hit here, failed. And if it gets above here, there's a chance to get long. And guess what? It didn't, which in my mind makes this a better breakout going forward. Now, what we had talked about was if it breaks above here, your stop is this 105 area. I'm going to remove that because we don't have to worry about that yet. I'm still going to leave this as a potential breakout area, but there's nothing down here that I'm going to be willing to take as a reversal to get back in and ride it up. The Aussie. So the Aussie, I really like the pattern that we're forming right now in the Aussie, this little pinch. If you will. There's a little bit of a pinching pattern here forming in the Aussie. And as it stands right now, one of the things that I see is I've got a lower swing high, a lower swing high, a potential lower swing high. This is a rising, a rising pennant where a breakdown is actually the better trade. When I look at this on a daily chart, we can see that we definitely have more pinch even on the daily. Now, we've got a little bit of what could be construed as some support, some floor area down in here. I'm not going to let that wiggle me away, though, simply because, first of all, this is a reaction to this area to the left. The other side is, since we're just kind of bouncing around in front of it, what that might tell me is that, sure, it's eating up a lot of that orders that would stop it when price comes into it, but it's a pretty weak entry into that location. And so for those reasons, I am okay with a little bit of a breakdown. Keep that stop pretty tight if you would do indeed take that on a breakdown. But I think that one holds very true as a potential. The euro, still nothing in the euro that I like. It doesn't have the same picture that the Aussie does. I'm going to leave the euro be for today. Canadian dollar. So the Canadian dollar, Canadian has served itself well for breakouts for the last few weeks. Now, I'm not completely saying to trade the breakout. There are going to be reversals as well, but none of these reversals in here are giving me a tremendous amount of confidence. I'm going to leave the Canadian dollar as is, but if somebody came to me and said, Chuck, I feel like the Canadian dollar has a strong upside potential breakout, I wouldn't be mad at you. I think that would be a perfectly acceptable thing to look at. Looking at it on a daily chart, we can see that there is still room for it to go up, in my mind, to about 79,389. So 79.38. All right, Nat Gas. So Nat Gas, we did get our breakout. Price came back down. Didn't get below our prior pivot, so we'd still be okay. But we're just not getting the move out of this that I would like. So if you are still in this thing, I would be very cautious. In fact, I'm bailing at this point. If I get anything lower than this candle's low. So to me, this is my anchor candle right now. If I get lower than this candle's low, I'm out. I need to get a candle higher. We're right now at a pretty pivotal point. I need to see this thing move pretty strong out of here for me to be comfortable with it. The Great British Pound. So interestingly enough, yesterday we had talked about catching the long off the pound, and price rallied up, hit our target. We did not get the breakout to the upside, unfortunately, but price came down. Now I left the lines on here. We caught the long on the way up. Notice that this area here, which acted as a support, could potentially be a resistance point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to a dashed line because we're in it now. If I get some weakness and I get a lower candlestick low and we come out of this trade and you wanted to take a short in there, I wouldn't be mad at you. I think it could give you a good opportunity in the British pound. Next one, the Japanese yen. So the yen level that we have been talking about for days. We've had this level on our chart for days. Price came into the level and did exactly what we wanted it to do. We came into the level, we got a good reversal, and now we're starting to move down out of it pretty aggressively. I think now, if you haven't already done so, it's a good time to move your stop as we're coming into this area here, which is the gap area. So anytime you got a gap area, you got to be concerned that we may get a bounce up. So you may want to take a little off the table or move your stop to lock in some profits. But if you're trading the yen, you should be doing the happy dance today, the cha-ching dance. And I think Dennis was the first person who asked me to put the yen on. So Dennis, hopefully you're able to catch that yen trade. Copper. So our copper trade, we had talked yesterday about the breakdown out of this level. So price did give us a pretty good move out of here. I got actually a couple of messages from a few of you that caught the copper move, which is great. Don't know if you're still in it after this rally back up. I know that scares a lot of people out, especially when we start violating some of these resistance areas. But I think we could be set for another breakdown again out of where we are from here. Looking at this on a daily chart, that breakdown really, I think price could still come down to this 036 area based on where we are right now. Oh, all right. I feel like I was talking pretty fast, but hopefully you guys had a pretty good trading day today. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out. I look forward to seeing you all real soon, and thank you so much. Make sure that if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, share it, like it, tweet it, whatever it is you do. I will see you soon.